This is Fido Friendly Travel Talk. Here's your host, Susan Sims.
Hey everybody, it's Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk, brought to you by Animal Radio, where we talk about the travel and lifestyle for you and your furry best friend. My guest today is Michael Schneider, founder of Pilots to the Rescue. Hi Michael, welcome to the show.
Hi Susan.
You know, I've been following Pilots to the Rescue for a long time. And for those not familiar, I would love to hear a little bit about your aviation background and why did you even start this?
Absolutely. So I started Pilots to Rescue back in 2015 to combine my love of aviation and rescuing animals. The aviation part came from skydiving. I was living in Cincinnati at the time, and this woman I was dating asked if I wanted to go skydiving, and I instantly became engaged with the instrumentation, the single pilot flying the plane. And for anybody who's been skydiving before, it's kind of a unique experience because you're sitting usually in like a small plane with the seats taken out, probably like a Cessna, and you have someone strapped to your back. And you have a little bit of time where you're climbing up to altitude to kind of take it all in. So I really I have about 4 jumps, and I started asking questions of the pilots about flying. So he encouraged I take a discovery flight. I started lessons immediately. I was hooked. And then the love of animals was ever since I was a little boy. We had all kinds of animals growing up: dogs, cats, turtles, hamsters, gerbils, mice. My father, when the hamsters got in the walls of our house, my father's solution was to go to the local SPCA and adopt another cat. So that's all I ever knew as a kid growing up. And I turned it into a business. I did dog walking and cat sitting, and I just always had that connection with animals. So combining these two loves was just a natural fit.
So tell us about the first rescue, and then while I have you on that note, kind of walk us through what actually happens. Who normally contacts you? I guess I don't know if it's shelters or if it's individuals. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, we have over 100 shelter partners across the country, and some of them are scheduled. We work with them, once or twice a month, and others are as needed. And we mainly rescue dogs and cats, but we also do endangered species like wolves and sea turtles, and we do some disaster response as well. Those are sort of our 3 pillars. So it's scheduled and it's as needed, and there's no shortage of animals to be rescued. That's the unfortunate part. But
Yeah,
we're doing our small part.
yeah, you're doing a big part. So walk us through. You were contacted, and what happens then? What's the next step?
We do require that our shelter partners have a relationship. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of animals that need to be rescuing and not as many shelters to receive them. Occasionally we help out on that part, but we mainly rely on them because they have established relationships. So they are typically sending the most adoptable animals. We're very much rooted in the East Coast, but we're making our way west. We just put a van in Dallas, Texas, for example. But we're typically rescuing down south, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Louisiana. These, unfortunately, you have more temperate climates, more animals in the wild, more strays. And we just find out that there's a vicious cycle of overcrowded shelters, euthanasia down in the south. So we bring them up here to the Northeast. We fly out of New Jersey, northern New Jersey, and New England does a really good job at adopting our rescue animals. We have a big appetite up here for rescue dogs and cats. It's in fashion. It's trendy. And you have some really big cities now that you can't even buy dogs and cats in the pet store. They changed those rules for Boston and New York City, which is great. Now you can only adopt an animal in the pet store. So that's kind of where the transformation starts happening.
Yeah. So, what was the biggest load of animals that you ever carried?
We took 83 cats and we did 68 dogs and cats. I actually piloted that mission, and it was supposed to be 72. A couple didn't make it on. But that's pretty much the biggest. It's always dependent on the size of the crates. So you can imagine 83 cats don't take up as much space. The 68 was a lot of puppies and kittens, but generally speaking, I would say on average, the plane is taking, I don't know, 30 or 40 animals. That's pretty much the average. And then the vans take way more because they're these big Sprinter vans. The vans are a lesser known muscle behind our mission. They help extend our range, help us mitigate some of those aviation costs, and they've come in handy like during weather events or maintenance events. So really important way that we be more relevant on a national level. Like I could see us having 100 vans and 10 planes, for
I think
example.
I think you need to trademark the muscle behind the mission.
Oh, you like that? Well, we
Yeah.
did trademark "We Fly to Save Lives."
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
Well, let's talk about Ridglan Farms. It's
sure.
been in the news a lot. So what led you? Well, of course, your mission is to save lives, but how is this different? Because knowing about Ridgeland Farms, since they were raising these beagles in horrific circumstances, basically for selling to uh, animal testing companies, uh,
Yeah.
what? How did this affect you when you heard about this?
Yeah, so obviously that's a landmark case, and it was great to be part of that. And we did two air missions related to Ridgeland Farms. Well, I think there's still a lot of people out there that don't understand that a lot of the products that they purchase are tested on animals. Doesn't exactly translate well to humans. There are other ways to do testing of pharmaceuticals and beauty products and all that stuff. So why it was different is because it shed light on this problem that we still have in this country, testing on animals. And also cruelty to animals. There's no excuse to be cruel to animals. So whether you believe in animal testing or not, the cruelty part is optional. Like that's not necessary. Same thing with factory farming, with the food that we eat. You don't have to be cruel to the animal that people are eating. We're not asking people to be vegan necessarily, but the cruelty part is what I think that's what that stands for. So that's how that was different because we made a stand against animal cruelty at the end of the day and animal testing.
Yeah, well, I applaud you for that. And you said you had two missions so far, and I'm trying to recall. Are there any beagles left? I heard that maybe there was 200 left. Have you heard about that?
Maybe. I thought they shut the facility down and
Yeah.
they were all out, but there's possible there's a couple more. But
Mhm.
you still have, I mean, Marshall has way more beagles. I don't know what the number was. It might have been as many as 25,000. We were just invited to join a march against Marshall Laboratories. I think they had like a random FDA test and they passed. So apparently they're not as poorly run as Ridgeland. But this is gonna be it's gonna take a long time, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
I believe in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree with you. So, where is the best place for people to learn more and how can they help?
They can go to our website, pilotstotherescue.org. Also on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, most of the social media channels. And of course, we need donations, but we also need people to go to their local shelters and help out and foster. Fostering is a great way to help overcrowded shelters, even temporarily.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all you do for our animal friends, and thank you for taking the time to talk with me today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Susan.
That's it for Fido Friendly Travel Talk. You have been listening to my guest, Michael Schneider with Pilots to the Rescue. You can visit their site at pilotstotherescue.org. And for more information about today's show or just about traveling with Fido, log on to fidofriendly.com. Until next time, travel safe and leave no dog behind. This is Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk.